No, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGM ECast presents ANZCAR. We've got something new for you tonight. If you turn up looking for the 87 series, that concluded the Grand National and concluded last week. That series being taken out by Edward Foster. And we saw plenty of carnage at Watkins Glen last week. I've decided to throw on, I don't know, is it easy to describe it, Chris, as our version of the Variety Bash circuit? Do you want to take our viewers through it tonight?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a different format to what they would normally do. So to start off for the night, we're running the Super Stocks or the Street Stock series, which is practically like your beginner series in the world of NASCAR in America. So that's where we're starting tonight with a 30-lap race around Nashville Fairgrounds, which is really cool to be back at such an iconic circuit that was around in the 80s and 70s and 80s. I think it finished about 87 off the top of my head, but I'm not completely sure. So that's where we're starting off, and then we're going to go and play with the big boys in the Super Late models, which is kind of like you feed a series into the main three categories of NASCAR. So from the street stocks, you might go to a modified or something along the lines of that, then into the super late model or late model, into a super late model, which is the higher horsepower version, and then we go into the truck series, Xfinity, and then up to Cup. So yeah, and that's going to be a 100-lap feature. A little bit different tonight with the tyres. With the street stock series, there's no tyres, so you've got 30 laps. You're not allowed to take tyres. So that's going to be who can manage that tyre the best for the race run. With the super late models at the feature, which starts around 8 p.m., we're going to have a 100-lap race, and you're allowed to have a set of tyres change at some point during the race. But with the late models, it is quite a longer pit stop, so it's going to be all about strategy and when that caution comes out to when to take them tyres, just strategically.
Just having a bit of a laugh here. I noticed or noted there that the cars are running leaf spring rear ends in them. The only reason I noticed that is because they were upside down on the straight, enabling me to have a bit of a look underneath. And then I've just jumped onto Paul Jackson's car running the Cobra Kai livery. I am in love.
Let's have a look.
Cobra Kai. Oh, yeah. The old Cobra Kai dojo. Love it. Just finished reliving the story of betrayal that thieving Daniel LaRusso trying to take Johnny's girlfriend in the Karate Kid. So I don't know if you're across all of that, Chris, but it's showing my age. We were talking about that prior to the broadcast, doing things showing my age. I'm not actually that old, but yeah, certainly an 80s kid. So yeah, Cobra Kai, love it. Let's see how he goes tonight. So yeah, so definitely a first here for FGM ECast. We haven't broadcast anything like this before. We are getting more and more involved in the dirt scene. With where I can tell everyone now, we're lucky enough to be jumping on board with NZSR to bring their development series permanently as a feature on our Tuesday night broadcast. So, we don't do a lot of NASCAR either, with the ANZCAR series basically being it. So we were glad when we were approached by the organisers to run something a little different for the remainder of the year. So this race setup will change each week. So the drivers will hopefully stay the same. But the series organisers will announce changes to the race. It might be the car, obviously the track type. They're just going to vary it up a little bit to offer some variety. There's no outright championship in this series at all. It all comes down to effectively run what you brung, and where it finishes on the night is where it finishes. So a little bit of a refreshing type series, I think, for the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're going to see guys being a little bit more aggressive because it's all or nothing. You know what I mean? It's not like they're managing for a championship or anything like that. So I think you're going to find that guys are really going to go out this. So I'm actually quite excited for this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We've got 12 drivers in the server now. It doesn't sound like a lot, but this is only is it a half-mile track?
Yeah, so it's 0.567 of a mile, so it is a very small circuit. The banking, it's not like a Bristol, it's not like serious banking. It's got more of a Martinsville feel in the way that it's quite flat and the way you approach pit lane in and out. But it's very bumpy. It's old school. The cars are going to slide around like they're going to get loose from entry all the way through to exit. It's going to be about throttle control and just keeping the car underneath you all night.
They look reasonably softly set up. Just seeing lots of bouncing, lifting front wheels. I feel like I'm at some sort of car meet in that I normally wouldn't find myself at, with cars bouncing up and down and that sort of thing. So certainly plenty of right wheel is synchronized spinning going on there. I think because we're at the end of the session there, no one really taking it too serious, but synchronized spinning happening there at I don't even know what corner that was, to be brutally honest. I think it might have been turn 2.
Out of 2, yeah, out of 2 it was. So, but yeah, it was guys left, right, and centre there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they drive these, because, like you said, they are quite softly sprung by the looks of it. The cars are rocking around, they're bouncing around, so they're drifting, they're sliding. I think we're in for a treat tonight. And
are these what silhouette are these based on the external appearance? Is that an 80s Firebird by the look of it?
It's I don't know if it's so much as a Firebird, but I think it's like their basic sort of Camaro from that era, you know what I mean?
Pontiac or something like that?
Yeah, Pontiac, something along those lines. So I'm pretty sure they're all steel body cars with just bolt-on bits. But yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Nice and raw. So we've just finished the checkered flag there for our practice session for tonight, and then we're going to head into qualifying. What's the you did mention it before, the race structure here for our first feature race? We then move into another very short practice session with the changeover of the cars, and then into our feature race for the night.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we've got qualifying now, which is 5 minutes, 2 laps to get your best lap in. So you'll find a lot of guys building up to that second lap. They'll probably run a little bit higher the first lap round and then drop to the bottom and try and go as quick as they can. Then we'll run a 30 laps here. We'll have a short break, kick off into the next race, which will be a 10-minute practice, same 2-lap, 5-minute qualifying, and then into a 100-lap feature, which will be a little bit more interesting to watch, put it that way.
Yeah. And is that a change of car as well?
Yeah, so we'll be going to the Super Late model, which is more like even like a late model on dirt. It's very similar in the body shape, a lot more horsepower. I think they're around 600 horsepower, and they are out of control. Yeah, they are awesome. Fast, bouncing around. They'll be loose. From entry to exit, down the straight, they'll be drifting. It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Carnage.
That's exactly right.
So we've got Roger Clark here showing us some of his best drift work. Edward Foster, currently the fastest man on track. He's done his 2 laps. Did a 22nd, not 22, as in 20 flat, 0.58 as the fastest qualifier. Joshua Carroll Walden just coming across the finish line now. And he's done an identical lap to Edward Foster, so another 20.58. So that is 2 nights in a row where we've had qualifying where 2 drivers have spotted exactly the same lap. That seems to me like there might be a timing issue with iRacing more than that being anything else. But having said that, Jason Hardigan has jumped up to the top of the leaderboard. He's done a 20.55. Michael Skurlock is still out on track. We'll jump on board with him in an interesting looking livery, that one. I'm trying to work out who that is on that car there, as he's aborted his second lap. So he's going to start in 4th. We've got Stephen Williams. He's just finished his last lap as well, down in 9th. And we've got Paul Jackson, the last in the Cobra Kai car. He's coming around to finish his first lap. He's done a 21.21. So the only car left to do his qualifying, so we'll stick on board with him here.
He's your favourite for the night, isn't he? Just from livery
Oh,
base.
livery only. I literally base where my loyalty lies on the liveries. The more creative, the better. So, or brand preference as well. So he's moved up a 20.91 into 8th in the Cobra Kai Dojo car. So that's it. How long's the qualifying session? 5 minutes. We've got 2 minutes left to fill the airwaves with a little bit of coverage here. The changes all gone through to iRacing over the last couple of days, or last week and a little bit. So it just says Stephen Williams is still out on track, but he's done his 2 laps, so not quite sure what he is doing here.
I would say he's practicing his race run for a little bit longer. So Steve was quite early, quite late into the session with not much practice time. So he'd be just keep circling them laps just to get a bit of a feel for how the car goes.
Just to keep us with something to discuss. So, yeah, so all the iRacing changes have gone through. Not too many for the oval track guys, from what I understand.
No, it was. I'm pretty sure the Cup cars and the Xfinity and Truck got a new tyre model or an upgrade to the tyre model that's going on. I think the rubber disperses off the tyre in a different manner now.
Okay.
But other than that, there's not much. Obviously, this track is new to the service, this build, so this is probably the first time it's been broadcast, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the racing goes here.
Groundbreaking stuff, as always.
That's it.
All-American 400 weekend, 2nd and 3rd of November. Over 600 laps of action-packed stock car racing. That sounds like a good event to get along to. Hopefully they're able to do that if that is still happening. But, you know, it is SimWorld, so there's every chance that it's not real. Good time quickly to mention our broadcast partners, Chris, of which you are one, the virtual motorsport mentor. What's been going on in the world of mentoring?
Not a lot at the moment, to be honest with you. We just got our samples for some shirts and hoodies done, so that's pretty exciting. We get to bring you some photos in the next coming days of that, and just helping out the guys at the moment. So I'm working with a couple of guys in the supercar to get ready for the 1000, and a couple of guys with the NTS series that runs around. So yeah, so it's been good, but it's been a little bit quiet, which has been nice to just take a break and reset and work out what the next steps are for the business.
Particularly with those new cars that have come out as well, that I know you have eagerly been awaiting. The LMP2 car, being that one, allows you to get in and get used to that and work out how it works effectively, what makes it tick, so that you can, certainly I'm sure you'll get inundated with requests to help people go faster in that particular beast. So,
definitely, man. It is a weapon of a car to drive, and I've had a ball in the last 2 days driving it for sure.
Absolutely brilliant. I've only driven it once, and yeah, just jumped back into something that was a little bit more my speed. Having said that, no, it was actually really good. The brakes on it, unbelievable. I thought I was using all of them, and then found probably another 20 or 30% in the pedal before you get everything locked up. So it really is a fantastic car. They've done a great job in putting that together.
Yeah, they definitely have. It's pretty much an Indy car with a roof on it, as I would say, is probably the best way to describe it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to drive. A lot of cool little features to it. As we unlock it more, it'll be interesting to see where it goes for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously also to Ryan and the guys out at AFTERSHOCK, our pioneering partners in the computer world. They are definitely big supporters of ours, and we're very thankful to have them on the channel. As always, on everything we do, they're right behind us in helping us with our equipment. Some fantastic computers that we've managed to purchase from them, but more so the fantastic support that they've given us in getting stuff done at relatively short time span when we've needed it. So to Ryan and the guys at AFTERSHOCK, hope you are all well and as busy as can be, given what's going on in Melbourne at the moment. So we're just trailing around behind the Ford Mustang. Anyone in the crowd, just be aware. They have a habit of shooting off into the crowd. So, but we are behind the safety car here, so there's not much chance of that happening. We've got 30 laps coming to you in just a few moments. We've got Hardigan and Foster controlling the pack. Hardigan on the top, bottom row, I should say, and Edward Foster on the top as we get underway for the first lap of Wednesday night Speedway. ANZCAR Wednesday night Speedway. So we're looking to see who can try and control these things for 30 laps. It's going to be a difficult exercise based on practice as they get loose. And new series, but familiar too at the front, battling away, followed by Carol Walden as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got the familiar faces of the top three at the moment working. I wouldn't say they're working together, but they're not making it hard as Roger Clark has a massive moment out of turn 2 and the caution's out already.
Oh, and there's another as
the Trump field is spinning.
Trump's just got his eyebrow raised there, and I'm not surprised. Look at him there, parked in the middle of the... Oh, jeepers, that was close as well. Norm almost taking Roger out. I'm sure there'll be words about that later on, as you say, as we head straight under caution behind the pace car. So wasn't long. How many laps in was that? 2.
That was, yeah, a lap and a half, and we were already out of control.
And we're already into the big slide. So sort of foreboding for what's going to come on later on. We're not expecting any pit stops tonight, but we've already got one in, so not sure what Paul Jackson in the Cobra Kai car is doing. Maybe he's going in just to get some advice from the sensei there before heading back out onto the track. Still haven't got the pit crew involved in the oval track stuff, which I'm really disappointed about. I want to see them.
Yeah, so
like they are in the top.
Yeah, it's only in the top 3 series that you can view it, and you can only view it as a driver for yourself. You can't actually view it from a broadcast perspective at this point in time, as I'm aware.
Disappointing.
It is. It would be amazing to see 30 guys run out onto the track at the same time to change tyres. I would love to see that.
Absolutely. Just jump up the top here and have a look at what we can see. So we have another lap or so behind the safety car and see what we can do. The pace car, you know what? I even was aware of the fact that I needed to say the opposite thing and still said safety car. Years and years of watching motorsport that just you can't undo in the matter of a couple of weeks. So
no, that's exactly right, and it's just the terminologies. Like the other big one that sticks out is understeer, oversteer, and loose and tight. You know, like it describes the same thing, but the way that they describe it is different. So
yeah,
it's a couple little differences, but the racing's still the same. It's still great. So double file restart too, beautiful.
Okay, so
all the adventure's going to start again.
I was going to say, elaborate on that for us.
So, depending on what level of motorsport they are, a lot of the grassroots start single file, just to give guys less chance of wrecking. But obviously the boys have set it up with a double file restart tonight, so it is going to be on. Just going to give an extra lane for somebody to make something happen early, jump forward, jump back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But they're already bunching up nice and tight at the front as Jason bolts early.
Pace car pulls in and we're back underway racing here. 24 laps to go. It is a time certain race as well as a lap certain race. So with the next server going to be up and running. So we got here relatively clean start. Just start to get into that bounce, which really affects the way the cars handle. And you can see there, Foster just trying to squeeze in on the inside there. That bright yellow car looks like a taxi cab. So he definitely going to get seen by everyone, which is, I think, the point.
Yep, definitely with Edward, it's always about being visible so you know where he is in the mirrors.
You just see Lachlan Aquajo there just run a little high, but managed to pull out of it before it caused too much damage. Michael Skurlock here currently running in 5th as well. Jump on the back camera there, that looks pretty cool as the cars go flying past. So I wonder if at any stage during the series we'll get through one of these races without a caution period.
I'm sure at some point you will. With something like this, with such a wild card sort of aspect to it, I don't think you will, because it's short practice, straight into it. I'm guaranteed none of these guys would actually prep for this like you would for a normal sort of big event. But I know a lot of these guys. I've raced against a lot of these guys, and in the major cup series that they run through the league, there's been known for we've done 160 laps in a race and gone clean the whole way and had 2 or 3 green pit stops along the way. So you will see it from time to time, but especially something this fast-paced, yeah, I don't think you're going to see it. As Foster's taken Jason for the lead.
He has indeed, and just got notification there as well that Paul Jackson in the Cobra Kai dojo has given the old karate chop to the wall, so he just looks like he's still circulating, so it can't have been too bad. Didn't bring out a caution period as we've got 18 laps to go. Fair old gap developing between the front 3 and the rest of the pack here, with a 2-second lead for this group over Lachlan Aquillo in 4th.
Yeah, so just looking at the front of Lachlan's car, he looks like he's already sort of hit the wall. At some point, there's a little bit of front damage on the car, so maybe that's just slowing him down a little bit from staying with the front 3, but he's got Skurlock catching him a little bit now, so it'll be interesting to see how quickly Skurlock can make hay with this and get past him and try and head towards the front.
I saw him run a little high early in the race, I think lap 3 or 4, so yeah, perhaps they're just clipping the wall. You can see that damage on the right-hand front as you're talking about. And obviously in these cars here, draft plays almost no role whatsoever, so they can't work together. It's a matter of getting past the car in front and pressing on.
Yeah, that's it. So the draft isn't a factor in these short races, but that little bit of aero damage can make the car tighter, and then the car doesn't want to rotate as well through the corner. So it's not really about the aero effect of being up close to somebody, but how the car responds with damage is more the effect problem.
Well, he's right under pressure here from Skurlock behind him, so he's going to be doing well to try and defend for 14 laps. As there's a little bit of action further back down the pack with Steve Williams, Matty Hunter, and Mirko Datanek. Dortanek, sorry. I always call him Datanek, so, you know, maybe I'll need to revise that a little bit. And
that's all right.
Roger Clark on the back of this battle as well, so...
Mirko's just hit the wall, and Roger's just slipped down the inside there.
Yeah, so Roger Clark there, moving up on the low line, moving through on the low line, I should say. It's damage on the front of Roger's car as well from, I think, that little clip that he had earlier on in the race, so... As it's still Foster... from Hardigan there. Hardigan getting very, very close to the wall on the outside of the circuit.
Skurlock's playing the high game now. He's trying to use the momentum off the corner to get a run. He's had a couple of looks, but he just can't quite get up far enough to get a look past him at this point.
So we'll stick with this battle here. So what's the idea there? Use the high line to get the speed straight in the corner a little bit, get better drive out of it.
So what he's doing is he's driving the car harder into the corner, getting the car to rotate, and then trying to cut back underneath him coming out of the corner, get the wheels straighter faster, pick up the throttle quicker. So he's trying to carry that momentum around the corner rather than wrapping the car on the bottom of the track. And it's working, but it's not working to a good enough effect for him to actually make the move yet.
I understand. So benefit of having you on the stream, Chris, just that extra little bit of information that we don't have access to normally. So see if we'll stick with the battle here. I'll keep an eye on the lead at the front between Foster Harding and Carol Walden, but this is the closest battle on the track, so we'll stick with it here and see if Skurlock can get the job done. We've got not too long to go. Looks like he's got a good run here. He's going to get the job done.
Up the inside. Yep, there you go.
Going to have to hold
just
that line.
Giving enough room.
Oi, very good driving. Could have easily been a touch there with these cars so liberal on the slide. So good driving from these two.
Yeah, definitely. They're racing hard, but they're racing fair and clean. So I probably would have been a little bit frustrated by now and probably stuck the nose up there and moved him out of the way. But yeah, it's good to see the racing's hard and fair. It actually looks like Steve and Matt Hunter are starting to catch them a little bit as well. So I think Lachlan's holding up Skurlock quite a lot here, and I think that's going to play into maybe how many laps have we got left? Oh, we've only got 5 laps, so I don't think it's enough time for Steve and Matt to catch the back of Skurlock. But Skurlock's got to do something pretty quickly here.
Needs to get the job done.
Yeah, definitely.
So Downtonac and Clark still close together in 9th and 10th as well. So could be a few more changes in the battle pack here.
Here we go. Here's the run.
He's got it again. Just struggled to drive again, just out of the corner there. Got a little bit squirrely for him.
Yeah, Lachlan got a little bit too low on that yellow line, and the car sort of spat on him just coming out of the corner. And Skurlock had a look, but it just wasn't quite enough to get the drive up there.
So he needs to get it done. We've got 2 laps to go after this one, so he's really going to need to get on with it if he's going to get it done. Just needs to focus on getting a good exit. And he's there again, but he's just not quite there again as the door gets closed on him by Aquisio. So I said I was going to be surprised if he was going to be able to defend for 14 laps. I tell you what, he's done a fairly good job of it so far.
Yeah, he's done an awesome job. And Skurlock's pretty persistent, man. Like he doesn't back away. He'll pressure him right till the last second. So if he's going to make it happen, he's got to do it this next lap. He's got 1 lap to go. But Lachlan seems to have better drive into the corner.
Yeah.
And it just gives him enough of an advantage that Skurlock comes at him on the exit, but it's not enough. Here you go, he's going to try.
He's got to get a good run out of the corner. He's going to go high-low, is he?
He's gone high. Yeah, he's gone high. He's going to let Lachlan drive it in deep, and he's going to try and cut back underneath him right on the line. Here we go. Nah, it's not going to be enough.
Not going to have it. Not going to be able to get it done. So we've got the end of that one, the usual suspects. So we've got Edward Foster taking out the first race here tonight, followed by Jason Hardigan and Joshua Carroll-Walden. So very, very consistent run from those 3 gentlemen. In fact, pretty clean racing from everyone. So we got through that. What's going to happen now is we are going to change over servers. So we'll stick with this one for a minute or two while there's some celebrations. Unusual, unseen from Foster in the past. So just stick with him while he's doing some of his best circle work there. We'll park that up, and then the drivers will all jump out of the server, jump across into a new server, and we will do the same thing. So while that's happening, once we finish watching the party parade here, we'll just quickly jump to an ad. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute or two, just while we change over into the new server.
Simrigs.com is dedicated to not only supplying quality products, but also helping you achieve your potential and goals within the sim community. Race clean. This is the most important thing to progressing in any of the racing simulators out there. Be consistent and stay on your race line. Someone that is much faster will overtake you when they can. Moving off your line to get out of the way can cause more trouble than you think. Have fun. You will wreck quite a bit. Sometimes your fault, plenty of times not your fault. Learn from it. Wreck avoidance is key. Whether you're just starting out and wanting an entry grade setup, or have been in the sim scene for years and needing a well-deserved upgrade, Simrigs.com is here to help. So please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. At Ferguson Group Media, we are a full-service marketing agency built for today. Day in, day out, we are about attracting attention to build brands. We believe that every business is a marketing and media business and should have access to a content creating machine. That's where we fit in. We also understand about extracting value from social media marketing and digital marketing. Video is king in producing content for your business. From it, all other forms of content can flow. We are set up to film, edit, and post-produce content at scale. This enables us to keep costs down, allowing small businesses to also access our products. Don't hesitate to reach out and chat about your content ideas. Your local digital marketing agency, Ferguson Group Media. There is an awful lot to learn, and it takes quite some time. Trying to work it all out on your own can be confusing and overwhelming. It can be super hard to get on the track, never mind being competitive. For me, I was lucky enough to get involved with a group of guys that were really fantastic and gave me a lot of knowledge and support. This helped me to progress with my skills and got me up to speed very quickly. After a solid 5 years honing my skills, I now feel I'm in a position to help others. So I'm all in on virtual motorsport mentor and loving every moment. I created this platform to help drivers develop their skills and get the support and feedback they need to improve their drive lines, speed, setups, and more. My goal is to see you become the best driver you can be. The question is, how far do you want to take it? I look forward to helping you drive fast and win more. Chris, Virtual Motorsport Mentor. Would you like to get your brand in front of thousands of avid gamers? FGM ECast now has sponsorship packages available, so you can get your name in the stream and start getting the audience you deserve. Our productions are cinema and TV standard and will include everything you need to get an ad, just like the ones you saw, into our live streams and replays. Don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like to work together.
And we are back. Thank you to everyone who hung around for the intermission there. We just had to change over service. As you can see, things have changed significantly.
They sure have.
New cars. So, ready to go here. We've got 3 minutes to go in practice. What do we expect here?
Well, I'm actually quite surprised, to be honest with you. These cars had a tendency to be loose before, but they look quite gripped into the circuit at the moment. Cooler track temps, obviously, because it's night time now, so I think we're in for an interesting race. There's been a bit of door banging already. The cars have got high horsepower. Times are very close at the top. The top four is spread by 0.08 of a second, so I think we're in for a treat tonight.
It's a little different.
Oh. Roger Clark's on his roof.
Most certainly is, and continue to get bumped down the track. So I'm not too sure what to expect out of all of this. It's all really new for me. I've actually only just got my license to run these cars, so I don't know whether or not I should be happy or sad. Just looking at what's going on here, but no, it's going to be a good race. I'm not even sure really what sort of speeds that we're going to expect here, so we'll just chuck the dashboard on for a minute as we're on board here with Stephen Williams. Being still such a short track, it's obviously we're not expecting too high speeds. 200 k's an hour there.
About 200 k's into the corner. Oh, another big shunt on the front straight. Yeah, it's about 200 kilometres into the corner. They drop down to about 155, 160 mid-corner, and then they're back up to 200, 202, somewhere around that region.
200 k's an hour on such a short track. As in the background there, we've got Norm Clark just getting a little bit wild and woolly. He definitely loves those US paint schemes, and I guess it's appropriate given the cars that we're in. And yeah, just gonna settle myself into this one. Let's observe a little bit of what goes on here as we jump back on board with Michael Skurlock, who currently is the fastest in practice. But you know, that's good, but doesn't count for a lot. He needs to get it done in qualifying as well. And then we've got 100 laps around here, running at around about 18 seconds a lap. So it'll go by in the blink of an eye. And before we know it, this first event will be over and done with.
It sure will. It's yeah, this is going to be high paced, and it really is all going to come down to how many cautions happen during the race and the way they're bumping and banging each other. I've got a funny feeling we're going to see a couple of yellows throughout this race.
Yeah, absolutely. So caution periods, I believe they call them.
Yes, that is correct.
So we'll just get on with it. I just heard a huge amount of bashing and crashing there as well, so I was just wanting to see if I could catch on.
I'm not gonna lie, every camera I go to, there's a car sideways or spinning or hitting the fence, so I think we're in for a treat.
If I just leave it on crashes, then I think that's probably going to give us the best view of what's going on for the night.
Oh, somebody's just been punted.
There's a huge slide down the inside. I'd say that's deliberate. The session's over.
That's it. That's exactly right. So qualifying now, guys will probably take their time on that first lap, a little bit higher again, and then focus on that second lap. Use the tyre up on that second lap, get a little bit more heat into it, and that's when they're really going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep an eye on that. We're on board here with Lachlan Aquajo. Sorry, Jason Hardigan, my apologies. We're on board with now as he heads out. Got basically most of the field already out on track. It is solo qualifying here, so you get the track all to yourself. And in this category, albeit the short track, we want to see that because we don't want to see drivers setting fast laps because they got a bit of draft or not a better outcome. So I want to see them do what they can do by themselves. Got it set at the moment on exciting, so it should jump to things like that. So Lachlan Aquajo, they're just having a spinner. We've got 2 laps here, have we, Chris, as well?
Yeah, so 2 laps here, 5 minutes to get it done. So you'll see a couple of guys go early. There might be a couple of guys head out a little bit later, but you usually only find that sort of strategy when it's hot. and they're waiting for cloud cover. So with something like this, it's nightfall. The track's probably at its best, or where it's going to be at its best. Waiting that extra minute's not really going to give you an advantage like it would during the day.
No, absolutely. As we're getting all of the laps coming through now, Edward Foster at the top. He has done his 2 laps. Jason Hardigan is in second place. Again, an absolutely identical lap time between the front 2 cars.
Yes, so Edward's done a 17.578 to Jason's 17.582. So
Yeah,
there's a
right,
tiny
okay, so
little bit in it, but
margin.
it's not a, yeah, tiny.
And you got 17.6, 17.62 to Skurlock and Carol Walden. And then we're down to Steve Williams and Lachlan Aquajo. So it is going to be real tight, everyone. But basically, as we see there, Aquajo on the roof. And we're going to see a real tight race here. So
yeah, it's going to be close. And I think that the thing that we got to remember is as well is this is going to change throughout the race as well. Like, there will be some guys that won't take that set of tyres that are available in the pits. There'll be some guys that do take it, so there'll be a bit of strategy going on here as well. There'll be guys hoping that, like, if we get a caution at lap 30, I reckon you'll probably see 4 or 5 guys come to the lane and get tyres. I think maybe there'll be a couple of guys that might take the punt and hope for later on that there's a caution at maybe lap 70. They've got 30 lap newer tyres. You're going to see them guys come through the field at the end of the race. So it's all about being in the right place at the right time with the caution.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're not expecting any pits in this run either?
No, there will be a pit at some point for that set of tyres, but it just depends where. There'll be some guys that don't take them, there'll be some that do take them, there'll be some that try to gamble for a later caution to take them then. So it's going to be a wild basket of who could win this. This could go 100 different ways at this point in time.
Minute 29 to go. Matty Hunter here just doing some extra practice at the end of qualifying, and then we will be into the race. Looking forward to getting started. Yeah, there it is.
Yep, didn't take...
Getting real lucky there, almost pulling it off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it looks like, not sure what he did run-wise there, but it looks like about 4 or 5 laps in, them tyres start to get a little bit hot and slippery. So I think we're in for a treat tonight. I think we're going to see some sideways action, some cars flipping, all sorts of craziness.
Seconds to go, then we'll get into the grid before or behind the pace car and get this one underway. Matty Hunter getting very wide at some stages during that practice session as we jump into the grid now. So we'll jump on board with our leader Edward Foster there. I might even bring the grid up so we can just have a quick run through of what we've got ahead of us. So we've got Edward Foster and Hardigan again at the front of this one. Skurlock qualifying in 3rd, followed by Carol Walden. We've got Williams and Aquajo in 5th and 6th. We've got Dortanac in 7th with Norm Clark in 8th. Carl Withy 9th. Paul Jackson in 10th. Matty Hunter in 11th. Watch for him piling through the field. And we've got Roger Clark starting from 12th.
So who's your thoughts for this one?
Who am I thinking for this one? If only I could tell you. Look, obviously based on my relatively recent experience in covering this one, as we'll jump onto laps there. I mean, you can't really go past Foster or Hardigan. Carol Walden's always consistent as well, so Skurlock's put in some fairly good pace in the brief time that I've been commentating races he's been involved in, so I think it's going to be one of those four that's going to take it home. But as you said, the importance of playing the cautions right, and who knows what can happen with such a close outcome in qualifying. There's every chance of some big action at the front of this one, so we will see. But I'm going to say, I'm going to go for an upset here. I'm going to go with Skurlock, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. But I think for my nostalgia reasons, I'm going to go Skurlock myself as well. Just for the liveries he's running tonight, it brings back a few memories, and I know that he's quite capable in these cars. So I think if anybody's going to take it to Foster and Hardigan at JCW, I think it's Skurlock tonight.
Well, only time will tell. It's indicating we've done 2 laps of the 100. We haven't. It will reset the counter, I believe, as we get underway. And that is happening. Here we go. We've got Foster, Hardigan, Skurlock, Carol Walden taking us away, and it's Foster who's made the early break here. But he's not going to get much time to breathe. This Hardigan there cuts back down underneath onto the inside line and moves up into the lead of this one. Look at the pace there, getting through with Carol Walden down on the inside running the Taco Bell livery. Not quite as bright as we normally see from him on his liveries, so it'll take us a little while to get used to. And Skurlock getting high in at the corner there, just trying to settle into a groove. We did see him do the high-low cut on the last race.
Yeah, I think he's just been a little bit patient. He doesn't want to drive the car in too hard too early on that tyre, if in case he does decide to go the whole 100 laps on that set of tyres. So I think he's probably let the tyre come up a little bit more, where I think a couple of these other guys are going pretty hard pretty early.
He's down on the inside line here defending, as Carol Walden's all over the back of Foster, trying to make something happen there. Jason Hardigan opening up a half a second lead at the front of the pack here. He's trying to cut and run, which is an effective strategy, except for, as we see, a massive hit there for Carol Walden getting wide. Hasn't triggered a yellow flag, but I was literally just about to say the lead can quite quickly be obliterated as a caution period comes out. So definitely want to try and manage the tyre, or the balance between getting a gap and managing the tyre through the next 94 laps or so.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to go too hard too early, because like you said, we could go 20 laps and then the caution could come out. He's used all that extra bit of tyre, and he's going to have nothing to fight if he decides to stay out on him. So it's a balancing act in this first stage, as Skurlock's really starting to put pressure on Edward now.
Keep an eye back through the field as well, so we can bring you some of the other battles that will form as we get through this race. One of the good things about running on a half-mile track is we do get the drivers staying reasonably bunched up, so not expecting massive gaps within the field. We'll get into a few battle packs like we normally do, but it won't be long before that happens that our lead cars are going to have to try and navigate around the slower drivers as well, so they're going to have that to deal with tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and lap traffic's a big thing in oval racing. The guy that is being lapped doesn't have to get out of the way. There's no blue flags in NASCAR, so you're going to see some guys fighting to stay on that lead lap. So as they get closer towards that top 10, top 8, that's when it'll get harder and harder for them, and they won't be able to just drive past them as easy. There'll be guys that really put up a fight to give them that position.
It's one of the things I actually really like about the oval track racing is the fact that you don't have to make way in a blue flag situation like you do with circuit racing, because you can be on fresher tyres, and whether it's a leader or someone else coming up behind you, you don't have to get out of the way. If your lap pace is there, your lap pace is there, and it's one of the things I enjoy about it.
Yeah, that's it. And the other thing is as well is you don't know when that caution comes out, and if you get lapped, then there's no way that you're going to be back in the fight. You know what I mean? If you're able to stay there or just in front of the leader, and then the caution comes out, you're automatically back on the same lap as the leaders and right back in the pack again. So there's a little bit of like understanding with the guys that if there's a guy that's a couple of laps down, he's had a damage in a hard race, they usually move out of the way. But you'll find the guys that are just going a lap down for the first time, they won't move out of the way as easy. As Skerlock had a massive moment out of 3 and lost a heap of time. And the caution's out.
Yeah, Paul Jackson, unfortunately, coming to an end there. So he's managed to spin that one around, but the caution has come out on track. Do we expect to see a flurry of activity into the pits here?
I think we've done 15 laps, so I don't think anybody will go just yet. I think it's a little bit too early. I think if we were at that 35 lap mark, I think you'd start to see people coming in. But I've been proven wrong before, so we'll wait and see what happens.
That actually worked out quite well for Skerlock there. As you said, he had a big slide, and this safety car period, the caution, I'll get there eventually, pace car period is going to help him just to close that gap up again behind Foster and get the pressure back on the back bumper, along with Foster to Hardigan.
Yeah, definitely, and it's also, with that big slide, he would have overheated the rear tyres. This caution period is just going to let the tyre cool back off a little bit, so he's going to be able to attack again straight away, and he's not going to have that slidey non-grip feeling for a little bit.
Just wondering as well, I didn't see in the regulations if caution laps are counting tonight or not.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Beautiful. Okay, so these laps are counting, so it's gonna help with tyre life too, as we get 2 or 3 laps done behind the pace car, and just mean that towards the end, particularly I guess for Hardigan too, having pushed to create that gap, he might be able to recover a little bit of that lost tyre quality through this pace car, safety car period.
Yeah, definitely. It'll cool the tyres off, depending on how early he went on that tyre, to how much stress he actually put on it will depend on how much wear rate's still there. So the cooling down cycle will help. But if he's hurt that tyre early in that first run, he might not have the grip advantage as, say, Edward or Skerlock behind him.
Yep.
So the only guy that pitted was JCW, and I'd say he just went in to get some damage repaired after hitting that wall early in the first stint.
Yeah, and as you say, he's not going to go down a lap, so it's a good time to get it done. The pack's closed back up again, so he's going to have the opportunity to attack. Once the pace car goes in, the lights are out on the safety car. The pace car, my apologies, I'll get there eventually tonight. The lights are out on the pace car. So he's back around and on the back of the pack there. As I just heard a little bit of crunching. I'm not sure what was going on there. Someone's copped some damage. As we get back underway, green flag racing here, and Jason Hardigan will want to get set about trying to re-establish that lead at the front if he can. Foster's trying to go with him, so's Skerlock, so's Aquisio. He got behind him. Williams in Dorsenac in the running side by side there as well. So Clark and Clark behind him, Matty Hunter, Carl Withy in the background as Skerlock gets really high there. He's had to back out of that a little bit, which has cost him some time. And that's opened him up to a little bit of pressure from Aquisio behind him.
The groove's starting to migrate here. There's a few guys running a little bit higher on the track now. So I think in the next probably 30 laps, we're going to see guys nearly up against the fence.
So just explain how that works to our viewers as well. So when you say that is that the grip migrating from low to high?
Yeah, so as a run goes on, obviously the rubber tends to move up the track. Like once the track rubber's in at the bottom, you can't put any more rubber in at the bottom. So guys, not that the track gets slick or anything, but guys will start to hunt around. It's a bit like dirt racing. You're trying to find the best place for the grip for your car at the time. So everybody drives the car differently, even though they're all on a fixed set. There's a few little adjustments you can make that will help the car turn or oversteer or get tight or loose, which will change the balance and where the car is at certain points during the race. So you'll find as the tyres wear off a little bit, guys will start migrating up to try and get a bit more drive out of the corner higher up. And what they're trying to do is hold that top line and carry the momentum as Norman's had a massive shunt on the back straight.
Oh, and there it is.
Caution again.
That's yeah. Unfortunately, I think he got turned there on his way through. We'll just have a quick look at the replay of that one there. We were actually on board with him. Just went off camera as we were watching it. So yeah, I think he just he did. He just got a touch there on the inside. I think that might have been Carl Withy that gave him the.
It was Mirko.
Yes, it was. Yeah, sorry, it was Mirko that did that. With Carl getting caught up in it afterwards. So not ideal. We're back under the pace car again. So where you can see there a fair old effort to drive that one back to the pits. A good impression. He's clipped the wall there, but he's actually done a really good job to get that back to pit lane. Norm, that thing is definitely not driving straight. So
it is toasted. It is crabbing down the pit lane so hard.
he will use a fast repair there. Looks like a blown motor potentially as well, just behind him. So
yeah, no fast repairs tonight either. So it's going to have to be all damage repair. So we might actually lose a couple of drivers out of this.
I think we probably will. That car with no fast repair is not going to be in a condition to be driven. So
he's taken his tyres, but interesting.
Maybe he's planning on trying to drive it at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I don't know. It might help him turn more, but I don't think it's going to help him down the straights.
No, I think that might be a bit of a challenge to get the job done. So got a couple of cars, Carl Withy going a lap down as a consequence of that crash. To which he unfortunately was an innocent party in it, but that is all part and parcel of oval track racing. Certainly have experienced that a number of times, just being the innocent car in what happened. So certainly also disappointed that there's no Cobra Kai car in this one. So, you know, what do you do?
That's it. Righty, so they're gridding up 2x2 to get started the next time by. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do here. So nobody at the front's taken their tyres. I think Norman, maybe Paul and Carl have taken tyres, but I'm not sure yet. So with 72 laps to go, I think if we get another caution, that's when you'll start to see some of these leaders come to pit road. Oh, little game.
Wow, yeah, I was going to say, he's just run hard again there, just try to cut away.
Yeah, and Skurlock's actually cut underneath him too.
Gone with him, so how does that work, the restart procedure here? Is it green light, is it, or a control of the car on?
Yeah, controlled by the car on the pole. So what's happened is Edwards jumped the gun a little bit. Jason hasn't accelerated. Edwards had to back up so he could see where Hardigan was. As soon as Edwards started to back up, Hardigan's gone, and he's absolutely caught him off napping. So that's how he's managed to gap him so quick. And
second.
Yeah, and it's really helped Skurlock as well, because Skurlock's obviously gone when Hardigan's gone, and he's been able to clear Edward into one on that first lap.
Yeah, and now battling with Foster for second position.
Yeah, see, Skurlock's already running that high line. He's playing something different with them tyres at the moment, so I think he's trying to preserve a little bit more, so that way he's a bit stronger later in the run.
Didn't notice that. I was about to say, at this stage, the only driver running that high line, and he's not doing it on every turn here. He's only doing it through the back end of, is it turn 1?
Yeah, so he's doing it into turn 1, and then out of turn 2, he's carrying the momentum out, so...
Just had another slide there, though, and has lost that position to Foster. So
yeah, he's used a little bit too much apron on the exit of the corner and just got the tail wagging a little bit. Hardigan's checked out again, second up the road, so that car's got really good short run pace. It'll be interesting to see how it goes as the run goes on, if we get a longer flags situation here.
And is that just down to the way he's driving the car? As you said, it is a fixed series. I know there's a couple of small changes, as you said, that you can make to the car. I'm assuming there in terms of steering ratio and things like that is what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you can adjust the steering ratio, steering offset, and the brake balance, the brake bias in the car. So those three things in their own little combination will help a driver with what they're looking for. Tyre management, how much the car rotates mid-corner, how much it's got tight or loose on entry with the brake bias. So it will help. Hardigan's style is quite aggressive and fast, like he goes quite hard quite early. And then once he's got that gap to manage, then he tends to let the car come back to him and not push it as hard. So different styles, different drivers. There's a couple of guys in the field that I know are more of a sit back and wait for 15 laps and then start working their way forward as well. So it'll be interesting to see where they all sort of pan out. But Hardigan's absolutely checking out on the field at the moment. But we've got another caution.
We do. We've got Lachlan Equija and Roger Clark. Again, just involved in a little bit of an incident there, so we'll jump back in and have a look at how that all happened. Looks like he's just got loose, has he?
Just watching now. Yeah, he's clipped it, and then he's overcorrected the car, and he's spun right in front of Roger.
Doesn't look like Roger's copped too much damage from that though, so that's good. And neither Lachlan. Just watching here. No, the driver's behind doing a great job as well to pull up and not make that any worse than it needed to be, so they will get back around and get back on with it. Norm Clark has jumped. Still in pit lane, getting that car repaired from earlier on in the evening. So once again, back under caution period.
Skerlock's taking tyres. So Skerlock's playing the 40 stop, but you've got Foster and Hardigan who have stayed out.
That hasn't really given us the best view there. That's much better. As you can see, the car getting new tyres fitted, and he is out. He'll jump back onto the back of the pack under safety car. Yep.
And Lachlan, Roger and Norman have all taken tyres as well. So I think we're looking at from about sixth place down have got tyres now. So I don't think JCW, Josh Carroll Walden, took tyres early. I think he just went in and tried to get some damage fixed.
Yep.
So I'm waiting to see what they do. This gamble could work for Skerlock, it might not as well. So it is very early. If we get another caution, I think that's kind of messed his race up. But if this goes green now for the next 58 laps, I think he could play himself right into this with 40 lap newer tyres.
Just quickly, in terms of driving these cars as well, you know, I'm definitely a circuit racing is where most of my experience sits, as you know. Trail braking, those sorts of driving on the, you know, turning the car on the throttle, are they things that apply in oval racing, or is it more about throttle control than any type of, you know, turn in or braking technique?
No, so there is what you would say crossovers between the two. It's probably your turn in isn't as important as it is in circuit racing. You do a similar sort of thing with trailing the brake, but it's in a slightly different way. So with a brake trail in a circuit racing, you might get 15-25% brake trace trailing.
Yep.
With these, you don't go over sort of 10 to 12%. It's very light, and you use it just to get the car to rotate. A lot of it is what I would call on throttle turn with the power, and it's all foot control if you've got a loose race car. If the car's not loose, it's a lot harder to drive, and it's more about being patient and rolling the car through the centre. So different setups, different driving styles will have different feelings, but from when I did a lot of oval racing myself personally, I liked a very loose car that I could drive with the throttle. I was always out of control sideways, but I could make pace with it because I could drive the car out of the corner a lot harder than other guys could, where it would be a little bit out of control on the entry as well, and I'd have to sort of manage that a little bit with braking.
We get back underway again here, and Hardigan's tried the same trick again on Foster, and it's worked for the second time under the caution there. He's already out to getting towards half a second up the road. I think Foster was a little bit more aware of it this time, but Hardigan there doing a great job on the restart. He's got Steve Williams behind Foster as the pack develops. just here we've got Matty Hunter, Michael Skurlock already up to 5th, having done his pit stop. So he's going to really charge through, try and make the most of the new tyres. Getting right down on the apron there, upsetting the entry to the corner. So keeping on it as we get around lap 46, almost halfway through this one.
Yeah, it's gone very quick. Very quick. So yeah, so Skurlock's only 1.5 seconds off the lead already with them new tyres. So I think you're going to see him come very quickly to the front. Matter of if he can stay in front once he gets there. And if we get another caution, I think that's pretty much done his dash. He's used them tyres too early.
So Foster he's closed back up again on Hardigan to the tune of just 0.3 of a second, or 3. See the gap there between the two. Steve Williams trying to stay on the back of that lead battle as well, but just dropping slightly off. It's really a game of tense as they head round towards halfway through the race. Michael Skurlock there in the background. He's a 1.5 seconds, nearly 2 seconds off the leaders, closing quickly though. So we'll see how he goes. Fresher tyres than the cars in front of him.
So it's taken him a couple of laps to bring them tyres in nicely without overdriving them. And now he's going to start making the gains.
So
that's a huge gain.
Keep an eye on this battle here.
He just pulled 4/10 out of him that lap alone, so he's coming now.
He is the fastest man on the track at the moment. As you said, 17.89 last time around. Everyone else well and truly into the 18-second range per lap. And Steve Williams on the back of Foster as well. So this group is closed right up. Skurlock going to be looking to get by and not waste new tyres, trying to get past Williams. He's going to want to try and get right back up there as much as he can. Norm Clark's rejoining the track after extensive repairs to his car, so good to see him get back out onto track. On board now, out having a look out the back of Steve Williams' car, just see how the line differs between himself and Michael Skurlock on the fresher tyres. Gap down now to just a 1/10 between the two. Skurlock trying the high, he's going to cut back in underneath if he can. Not quite finding the grip on that high line just yet. Getting past, good drive there by Norm Clark just to stay out of the way for these guys coming through as they battle for 3rd place on the grid. Just working his way through here. Skurlock looking like he's going to get it done. Is he? No, just not quite far enough up. And Matt Hunter's crashed. We're back under caution. So another caution flag here as Hunter turns that one around. Roger Clark also having an episode there. That car heavily damaged on the front, so he's going to need to head into pit lane and get that repaired. That's a separate incident there. Not sure how that happened. He may have actually run it into the back.
Yeah, I'm just going back to have a look now.
Yeah, so it's just over-rotated. It looks like he lost control and doing a good job actually avoiding Carroll Walden there. But in doing so, heavily damaged the front of his car as Hardigan, Foster and Williams all jump into pit lane. Let's see who takes tyres.
Oh, they'll all be taking tyres, all 3 of them.
Yeah, because they can. They've got the time to do it. And
so they will be 14 lap newer tyres than Skurlock. But Skurlock played the smart game there. He didn't go too hard too early. He could have definitely got right up to them guys a lot quicker. I think he's let the tyre phase in a little bit first to try and not hurt it as much too quickly. So it'll be interesting to see how these 3 play it, because they're going to be a little bit further back in the traffic. Or are they? Just trying to look now. No, they're not. So they're probably going to be P4, P5, I reckon, once everybody cycles through. So it doesn't look like Lachlan's taken tyres, or did he take tyres in the last stop?
He did take tyres in his last stop, so what really has to happen here, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Skurlock needs to now get a gap. He needs to effectively do what Hardigan's managed to do on the last 2 restarts and get that good jump, and hope that Foster, Hardigan and Carroll Walden have to burn their tyres to get up behind him and pass him. So defend from the front, I guess, is the way I would put it together.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that we haven't taken into factor with this is he hasn't been in clear air yet, and when you're in clear air, you've got a little bit more of an advantage. Like, you saw Hardigan go early, he pulled that gap and he was able to manage it, and I think with how I know that Michael drives, I think you're going to see something very similar, and I think he'll make his car wide, and I don't know that anybody will have anything for him in clear air. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, looking at the lap count scale, I pitted lap 39, Foster 57, so that's an 18 lap difference. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with it. Looks like Edwards coming in P5, so starting from P5. So we'll wait and see what he can do. But if he can check out early, he might be able to hold that gap to him.
So lights are out on the pace car here, so we will be back underway in just a few moments. So looking here, the field at the control of the 350 as he is off and running. Looks again like he's caught a couple of cars sleeping, and he's going to get out and try and gap this field. Carroll Walden already up into 3rd, Foster 4th, Hardigan already up into 5th. So they are back in the pack. I'm going to jump in there and just have a look. This could get a little bit hairy back here. As you can see there, the battle already happening. Tell you what, Hardigan's got some pace. He's right up behind the back of Carroll Walden, and in fact getting past him. Carroll Walden in a slide there. Has he kept it off the fence? Yes, it looks like he has, but he's lost a few positions. And Hardigan already up to 3rd. 1.5 seconds up the road, Michael Skurlock already, and Equijo in the middle here, so let's keep an eye on this to see how we go, as we've had Carroll Walden and Clark head into pit lane.
This is going to be a straight up fight now. Everyone's taking their tyres, so this is who can manage their tyre the best and make it to the end now.
Hopefully we can have some clean running here. But as a fight rather than decided by cautions and pace car intervention. Equijo getting a little bit loose on the exit there, and that's opened up the window for Hardigan. He's still right on the back of Equijo's car here. He's going to get the job done down the inside now, is he? No, Equijo's still going to keep him covered.
He's got some pace on that outside line.
Side by side. Driving really well here, and Michael Skurlock's, to be brutally honest, he's going to be the one who's going to get the advantage out of these two fighting. Tyre wear, and he can run away with it at the front.
So Lachlan's playing a really smart game here, because what he's doing is he's pinching Jason down. So Jason's having to use more steering wheel to get the car to turn and hold it on the bottom, which is going to scrub his tyres out quicker.
He's got a little bit loose there, and he's lost that that advantage that he had as Foster and Williams close up on the back of him there. He hasn't lost Hardigan, but he definitely needs to do something to try and grab back onto and put him back under pressure. As Hardigan's going to head off up the street. Gap between Hardigan and Skurlock now down to a second. So Foster here putting pressure on the back of Equijo as well. Stephen Williams lurking in the background there, trying to take some advantage out of the battle too. So again, Aquisha. Oh, he's had a bump there, and Edwards done kind of the right thing in keeping him on the track, but a little bit of damage there, and the bump too. So it's unfortunate for Aquisha.
It's also helped Stephen Williams jump them both into third position too.
It has indeed, so he's taken advantage of that and has a gap too. What we're looking at here is the gap to Skurlock, between Skurlock I should say and Hardigan now is down under a second, so...
Yeah, it's about 8 to 9 tenths fluctuating each lap, so it's pretty close, but I think Hardigan seems to have a little bit more pace now, especially out of 2, he seems to be making gains there. But we're going to get some lap traffic in a minute as well, which will play into it.
Yeah, so coming up on the back of, I believe it's Carl Whiffy. Reasonably damaged car there, unfortunately for Carl. Doing the right thing, sticking to the low line. He is not on the lead lap. Actually, my apologies, he is on the lead lap. Not anymore, of course. 26 laps to go.
And he did an awesome job to just move out of the way, let the boys go and go. He knows he's not going to be fighting for a decent position on the lead lap with the damage that he's got, so that's what you like to see. But when you get to guys like Paul Jackson, Matt Hunter, they're not going to move out of the way so easily.
Jackson, about a second and a half up the road at the moment, so they'll get back onto there. He is. No, that's actually Norman Clark there. Heavily damaged cars up in front here. So Clark does the right thing to get out of the way. That Monster Energy car that they're coming up on now, cannot even read the number on that one, but I'm assuming it was Paul Jackson.
Yep, they've just passed Paul Jackson. That thing's pretty bent as well, so... But Hardigan's there now. He's on the back bumper, but what can he do? Is Skurlock waiting to save that tyre for him? Is he going his hardest? Like, we don't really know at this point. It's going to take a couple of laps to work it out. There's 21 laps to go at the stripe next time by, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do here. But the gap to Stephen Williams is 2.5 seconds, so... I think without a caution, Steve's probably a little far out of the window now, but Hardigan's right there now, 10th and a half.
And obviously Foster probably with a little bit of damage out of that impact with Aquisha too. So at the moment, it's definitely these two for the race win. And as we've got 20 laps to go, lap time's obviously very similar between the two, and that is... going to be a measure here. The early tyres or the younger tyres I should say for Hardigan, potentially proving the difference in the outcome of this one. So 19 to go that time by.
Here he comes.
Going to get it done unless Skurlock can press him down onto that inside line and
hold him tight. There you go. It's good, hard, fair racing.
Again, trying to find grip in that high line.
It's working for him. He's able to stay with him, but I just don't think he's got enough to pull back in front. Oh, he's getting a pretty good run out of the corner, but it's close.
So what's the strategy here going to be for him as he tries to dive back down under the inside? Just got lost grip again a little bit there.
Yeah, so now he'll play the game where he'll sit behind him and he'll be patient and hope that he can stay with him. But judging on Hardigan's pace tonight, I think it's going to be hard to match him, to be honest. He's pulled him in from a second. He's got past him pretty easily within a couple of laps, and I reckon within the next 3 or 4 laps you're going to see him a second out down the road.
Hardigan stuck with that low line all night, and it's really worked for him here. Skurlock's been looking for that extra advantage where he could find it. Just not quite getting the grip out of the high line that he needed to on the exit, which opened the door there for Hardigan. So,
but Skurlock did just go faster than Hardigan on that last lap. So I don't think Skurlock's done with this yet. I think he's just playing the game at the moment. So what have we got? We got 13 laps to go. You might see him have a move with 5 or 6 to go if he can stay within that 10th or 2 touch of him.
We certainly hope that he does. Be fantastic to get a really close finish here in the main race of this evening's ANZCAR event.
Yeah, so an 18.257 for Skurlock plays and 18.136 for Hardigan last lap. So Hardigan's definitely got a little bit more by the looks of it.
Just dropping off a little bit now. Last time around, just Skurlock was still slightly quicker. So, but he's lost 6/10 through that lap, and it's just starting to open up now. Might end up getting beyond reach.
It is, but also keep an eye out. Stephen Williams has closed the gap now to 1.8 seconds, so he's coming. He's coming with a bit of pace at this point, so he might make it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so Skurlock's staying with him, but he's about 200ths a lap slower, 2 to 300ths a lap slower. So I don't know that he's got pace to get back to him.
There's Roger Clark there. He's pulling back down into the line. Doing his best to try and stay out of the way there, but I just don't think he had the grip to keep that car on the higher line without stacking it. So quite close there to slotting himself into the race leader. 7 laps to go. It'll be 6 next time around.
This has gone very fast.
Well, 17, 18 seconds. I read some 18 or so seconds is the average lap time throughout the race. So it's been reasonably high pace. We haven't had a lot of caution periods. I think 3 come to mind, perhaps 4 at the most. So
yeah, I think we had 4 for the night, so it hasn't been too bad. But yeah, they've been ticking the laps off pretty quick here. But I think Hardigan's just pulled enough of a gap now that it doesn't matter what he does. But I'm watching this battle now with Steve Williams Skurlock, because Steve's just pulled another second out of him in 4 laps.
Got 4 laps to go to pull the other second out if he's going to challenge for second place on the grid. We'll jump on board with him just to see where he's generating the pace from on the track. A little bit of a slide on the exit there. It's definitely quicker through the second sector or the back half of the track.
Yeah, I think Skurlock's had a little issue as well. He's got a little bit loose and lost a little bit of time because he's actually dropped a little bit to Jason now as well.
Yeah, the gap there at the front, around about 8/10 of a second. So 2 laps to go as we cross the line. Looks like it's going to be a Hardigan victory here. Skurlock in second and Stephen Williams joining the grid tonight. He's going to take out 3rd in this feature race. Been a really good introduction to the series here with some good clean racing, nice and close as well. A little bit of variety too as we see Carroll Walden. He is out of this race, and it is Jason Hardigan who's taken out the victory here with some really, to be honest, he's been quickest all night. He's driven really well. Fantastic restarts from him from the caution periods, and thoroughly deserving winner here in our main race event, followed by Michael Skurlock 2nd and Stephen Williams in 3rd. Edward Foster ended up in 4th with Matty Hunter and Roger Clark in 5th and 6th behind him. We're going to get the show on here. He's going to park it up against the wall, is he, and give us a fair bit of smoke and show and noise, and that's why you go to the car racing, is for the oratory experience. That's a solid word to be cracking out at just on 9 o'clock on a Wednesday evening. So we hope you've enjoyed what we've done for you this evening. I think we're going to jump in and have a chat with a couple of the drivers, hopefully. But we'll just wait and see if they feel like coming in for a chat or not. In the meantime, we've got a night off tomorrow night, which is very unusual for us. We're between Thursday nights with our NZSR guys, working on some new series there, and we've got our off week for the Endurance series. So we may well be bringing you a little bit of Fall Guys action. We didn't have that on tonight with some other work getting in the way. And then on Friday night, we do have our IndyCar double header, where we head to Road America.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting Friday night of racing around there for sure.
And we may end up doing up late Friday night again as well. So for Free Time Friday, following on from that one, we'll see how we go.
Oh, beautiful! Lots of fun to be had.
Absolutely. So plenty to come, shall we say? And I'll tell you what is coming our way as well. We've got the Bathurst 1000 of the sim racing world happening next Saturday as well. Is that next Saturday or is that on the Sunday?
Yeah.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. and we will have the streams for the 981 and the VMMA teams up on the channels, and then the following weekend, one that we have been building up to for a while, Petit Le Mans from Road Atlanta. So the LMP2 car getting its first outing for the team there, as well as potentially jumping in to the new Corvette. So lots of things coming your way on the channel. I think just looking at it, the driver's not that keen to jump in with us into the broadcast booth and have a chat about the race tonight, which is what it is. But the racing really, really good. Just to cap it off there, Hardigan taking out the feature race, 100-lap race win with some fantastic driving, really solid on the restarts. I think that's probably the thing that was most impressive about his drive tonight. Just the way as well that he managed to generate that extra couple of legs of pace out of the car ahead of Michael Skurlock and Stephen Williams, who did a good job driving back to the front of the pack. He was up 2 spots from his qualifying position to take out 3rd place in our race tonight. Driver of the night for you, Chris?
I'd have to say Hardigan, just for the dominance. I mean, he was able to pull away early. He came back through the cautions, pulled away a couple of times, came back into the pits later, had to pass a few cars. He drove around the outside of 2 of them, got back to Skurlock, passed Skurlock quite cleanly, and then headed on out down the road. So, yeah, just dominant from him all night.
So we've got, I'm not even sure what we've got on the cards for ANZCAR next Wednesday night, but I can tell you it'll be another variety bash. We'll have an early short race, followed by a feature event at obviously another racetrack. The tracks should stay the same as we vary up the cars that the guys are driving between the 2 races. So I think that brings us to an end for this Wednesday evening. It's been a short but fun one. And as we described, there's plenty coming on FGM ECast, your place for e-pace over the next few days and weeks ahead. So if you're looking for something to do, definitely jump on. If you're looking to get into a series, jump onto our website, FGMECast.com, and you can join one of the number of series that we run, or we'd certainly love it if you support the series that we broadcast. Plenty of gaps in this field if you're interested in getting into some oval stuff. A very well run and administered series as well, so it's a good place for you to get started if you're interested in it. And with that, we're going to sign off. So we will catch you tomorrow night, potentially for some Fall Guys stuff early in the evening. Otherwise, certainly for a very full card on Friday night. Join us live from 7:10. And we'll probably head on right the way through to about midnight, I think, on Friday night. So do jump on board and join us for that one. Thank you, Chris, for your support tonight, and we will see everyone another time.
All good. Thank you again. See you next time, guys.